You guys, welcome back to King Oles, and yes, it has been announced officially. We will get the five fights between Matchroom versus Queensbury Promotions, and I cannot wait for this event. Apparently, all the fights will be announced on the fight week of Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. This event will go down in Saudi Arabia, and honestly, I cannot wait. I feel like it's a really, really interesting concept as well. Yeah, and I've got and this is my matchmaker for these fights, for these five fights that we are going to have on this card. Very, very exciting stuff as well, in my opinion. Can't wait. Matchroom versus Queensbury Promotions. Here we go. So we're going to be going in with my first fight. We're going to start it off first of all with Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard. I think it's a fantastic fight, to be fair. And I do think you can chuck Callum Smith right back into the mix, to be fair. He lost to Berta Biev. Yarn's lost him as well. Like, there's no shame in losing to Berta Biev. It's not like you need to go off and fully rebuild your career. Just go back in there against Anthony Yard. Yard's lost to him. He's trying to rebuild against a few nobodies, but there's no point in it. Just let's get this Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard fight done. It must happen, in my opinion, on this card. It makes all the sense in the world for this fight to happen. I think it's an amazing fight. It's a fight I've been wanting to see for quite a while as well now. So let's get it done. I think it's a really interesting fight. Yar's going to be trying to find his ways to get on the inside. Smith's going to want to keep this fight at range. Who do I think will win as an early prediction? I'm going to be going with Anthony Yard. I feel like Yard, he's after that Berta Biev fight, he came away with a lot of pride and, exposed Berta Biev a bit. And also I just feel like his aggressiveness is going to be, and his pressure is going to be a bit too much for Callum Smith to be able to deal with, to be honest with you. So I'd say Anthony Yard wins this fight. And, who knows, what Callum Smith's going to come back like after the Berta Biev defeat. But as I said, there's no shame in losing to Berta Biev. So I feel like you can still stick him in there in a massive fight. Will he still be the same fighter, though, after something like that happened? I don't know. He had 15 months off, then got back to like that. I don't know. But yeah, I've got Anthony Yard winning this fight. But it's a fight I want to see. It's a dream fight, in my opinion. I really want to see it. Next up, I have decided to have Austin Williams versus Nathan Heaney. So obviously, Anthony Yard, that would be 1-0 to Queensbury so far. I think. Austin Williams and Nathan Heaney. Frank Warren's been promising Nathan Heaney a big 2024. Heaney's just had a fight announced today where he's making his first defense of his British title. And then you obviously stick him on this card against Austin Williams. This is a big fight for Heaney in the middleweight division. And this could be, look, he's going to get a Saudi payday. If Heaney wins this, he's going to get a world title shot. Do I think Heaney will win? No, probably not. Austin Williams is just way too skilled, in my opinion. Very, very, very big talent Austin Williams is. I'd want Nathan Heaney to win, but I just wouldn't see it happening. But I think this is. I think it's a good, solid, entertaining fight. To be fair, I don't think it'll be as much of a mismatch as people think. I think Heaney is underrated, but again, I do expect Austin Williams to win. No, to be fair. But yeah, I think Heaney deserves the payday. I think Williams does. Yeah, let's get this fight on. I think it's a good fight, and I think it's one that Austin Williams will win. So that'd be 1-1 so far, in my opinion. Okay, next up, we have now got, this is possibly the most 50-50 on the card. We've got Lee Wood versus Nick Ball. I really want to see this fight. I really, really, really want to see this fight. Obviously, Nick Ball's currently scheduled to fight Ray Vargas on the AJ Ngannou card. So, I don't know if this will definitely be getting announced because it's on fight week of Joshua Ngannou. So again, I don't know if this one will be possible. They might be able to find a way to do it though, regardless of whatever Nick Ball's result is. I feel like they should. Lee Wood, obviously champion at he was a champion at featherweight. They vacated the belt, wants to move up to super featherweight. But yeah, like Nick Ball can then move up to super featherweight. Sorry for this fight or something. or Lee Wood moves back down. I don't know, but it's a fight that I want to see. Or we either see Nick Ball versus Lee Wood. But I feel like you've got to get someone like Nick Ball on this card, in my opinion. In my opinion, right now, he's 100% one of Frank Warren's biggest stars right now. And I feel like he can be. He's got all the potential to be. And I feel like if you stick someone like Nick Ball on, 2 Saudi cards this year, on that AJ Ngannou one, and on this one, it just makes Nick Ball a massive star. With his talent, with Nick Ball's talent, he could be a massive star for Frank Warren because, he's promoting well, doing all the right things with him. So, yeah, but who wins this fight, though? I think it's a really interesting one. I think if Lee Wood moves back down to featherweight for it, then I would fancy Nick Ball. If it's if they do it at super featherweight, then I'd fancy Lee Wood's chances more because he would not be as drained. But I honestly, right now, I think as of now, I'd go with Lee Wood, but I'm not fully sure, though, because I feel like I'm going to have to wait for Nick Ball's fight against Ray Vargas to, if this happens, to fully get a prediction on it. But as of now, I'd say Lee Wood because he has done it at that very top level. Nick Ball's a very good talent, but he has not done it at the level that Lee Wood has just yet. He could do, though. But as of now, I'd go with Lee Wood. Okay, next up, we have got 2 more fights left. I've got now Derek Chisora versus Joe Joyce. I've been switching a few around. You'll see in my next fight in a minute that I've got. But yeah, I feel like this is a fight that we should see. Joe Joyce had a fight announced today against Cash Ali. Should win that fairly easily. I feel like this is a fight we should see. Both guys are old in that heavyweight division. I feel like it's a good stylistic matchup as well. I feel like for Chisora, I feel like he's a fighter that will be able to cause Joyce issues, but eventually Joyce could be able to just walk Chisora down, get the better of him, landing the better shots, cut the ring off well, then eventually get him out of there. But Derek Chisora, he's that small guy with some, big looping overhands that can really, test the chin of Joe Joyce to see if it's still there. I think this is a great fight, and I'd want to see this one, to be completely honest with you. It's one that I'd want to see. So far, I've got 2-1 to Matchroom. But who do I think will win this one? I feel like Joe Joyce would end up doing it, though. I feel like Joe Joyce will eventually, end up cutting the ring off quite well, backing Chisora down into the corner, landing some massive shots on him. Then I reckon it might get stopped. Chisora's looking slower and slower every fight, if we're being honest with you. So, yeah, I see Joyce taking some big ones to get into where he wants to be, try and get that fight up close, and yeah, Joyce will eventually get him out of there, in my opinion. But Chisora will cause him issues, but no, I've got Joyce winning this one. So yeah, 2-2 now. Now it comes down to this final one. This is a fight I really want to see, and that is Dillian Whyte versus Daniel Dubois. I understand people might say, Dillian Whyte doesn't deserve to be on this card. I don't really think he does either because, he's, failed his drug test and stuff. But they put bloody Miller on the card, Saudi Arabia did. They put Miller on the card. So there's no reason why we won't see Dillian Whyte. And look, this is a fight I want to see anyway. I want to see this fight. I think it's an absolutely fantastic fight. I feel like it would just be an all-out war, to be honest with you. Daniel Dubois, I feel like he's going to have to want to stick behind the jab, try and box a little bit here. White's just going to be wanting to fully go in at him. I feel like, these two might meet in the middle and just fully scrap. It'd be such a great fight, in my opinion. But I feel like Daniel Dubois, the younger guy, he looked good when he fought Miller, and he actually was able to box well. And Dillian Whyte's kind of got that similar build to Miller, but Whyte's definitely a better opponent than Miller was. I feel like it's a tough one for Dubois because Dillian Whyte hits ridiculously hard. And if he does, it's an interesting one. But I feel like, Whyte's definitely losing his swag a bit now. Like we saw against Fury, he was awful then. And against Franklin, he arguably lost. I think Daniel Dubois will end up stopping Dillian Whyte late, in my opinion. That's what I think. Yeah, I feel like Daniel Dubois actually ends up stopping Dillian Whyte late. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting fight though. I'd want to see. Is Dillian White actually still with Matchroom? God knows, but I hope he is. Otherwise, I'm messed up here. But yeah, look, this is a fight I want to see. I'm sure he is. Sure he is. I don't know, but yeah, I just thought is Dillian White actually 100% with Matchroom? I don't know. He might be. I hope so. Otherwise, I've just messed this whole video up. But yeah. Anyway, I think Daniel Dubois wins this fight. But yeah, this is a fight I want to see. Dillian White and Daniel Dubois. Let's get it done. Surely. Anyway, get a nice video here. Thanks for watching the video, Kills. Speak to you in a bit. Thank you for watching.